You are now listening to The World Within. The World Within. With your hosts, Christian and Ethan.
Welcome to The World Within podcast. I am one of your hosts. I am Christian Tabor.
I'm Ethan, and something's new happening right now.
Something new is happening. We hit video. So, audio listeners, I know you like Spotify. I know you like, all the other Apple podcasts, all Stitcher, all of them. But just hop on YouTube and check us out. Just check it out. It'll be worth your time.
Yeah, I mean, and if you don't like it, you don't like looking at us, just go back to the podcast.
Just go back to audio. We're gonna be doing both. We're like superhumans. We can do it all.
Pretty much.
We can honestly do it all. But from there, let's talk about our social medias, Ethan.
Yeah, so give us a follow to stay up to date on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Any of the socials. Just give it a list or give it a follow, and you'll stay up to date.
I know you like Angelina's pictures. You like Brad's pictures on the Facebook, on the Insta. Just give us a like, give us a follow. We will show you all of our...
It costs nothing.
It literally costs nothing. We show our Patreon. We show our new episodes. We do shout-outs. Just hook us up. Just hook us up. Give us a follow. You won't regret it. I promise you that.
For sure.
And so let's talk about the Patreon since we're at it. Patreon.com/theworldwithin. You can get stickers on there. That's one of the benefits.
Stickers are cool.
We have this sweet shirt that we're both wearing, and we both look pretty good wearing it.
And who doesn't? Who wouldn't?
Who wouldn't look? Oh wait, nobody.
Not even like Brad Pitt. And Brad Pitt looks pretty good with his shirt on.
Yeah, exactly. People want Brad Pitt to wear this shirt, not shirtless, which is saying something.
Get it to happen.
Yeah, so check out that Patreon. You won't be disappointed.
Yeah, another thing that you won't be disappointed in is today's topic.
That is true.
Today's topic is pretty crazy. It's have you ever heard of the Watcher of 657 Boulevard?
No, I haven't.
Well, maybe I'll send you a letter.
Wait, I have heard of him. I just did a bunch of research on this.
No, that's true. That's true.
Yeah. So it all started when Derek and Maria Broaddus, they bought their dream home in June 2014, which this is a new one. Usually all of our other episodes have been kind of
like
in the
80s
past.
to the past.
But this is 2014, y'all. This is 6 years ago. And so this was in Westfield, New Jersey. It was Maria's hometown. They had three young kids.
Three young kids
together.
Children.
I was gonna go with kids, and then I changed it to children, so it kind of came out weird there. But Derek grew up in Maine. He moved up in ranks in this insurance company and actually became the senior vice president of that insurance company.
Pretty good.
So this guy, that sounds like some moolah.
Yeah, you got yourself set up pretty nicely.
Set up nice. And so they bought this house for $1.3 million. That's not cheap.
Yeah,
that's like not a cheap house.
Jake from State Farm probably has that money, but
but that's Jake.
Do you think Derek from Allstate has that kind of money?
Did he work
I'm
at
not
Allstate?
sure.
I think it was a small.
Yeah, you only want money no matter what.
I mean, regardless. But it was a 6-bedroom, 4-bathroom mansion at 657 Boulevard, a few blocks from Maria's childhood house.
Yeah, so I mean, they're pretty wealthy. I mean, if she
Maria came from money,
do you think they'd have some money?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so you're living there. You got your dream home. Well, they didn't live there technically. They were just doing renovations.
Yeah,
and,
they didn't move right in.
Yeah, you want to have your dream home to be your dream home. You want it to be yours.
Exactly.
If you have the money to do your renovations on it, might as well.
Yeah, you can come to our place too and do renovations too.
Yeah,
Mr. and Mrs. Broaddus.
Yeah, I've heard they just run into some money.
That's
true.
We'll get into that later. We'll get into that.
But so it was a 6-bedroom, 4-bath home. It's pretty nice. You're doing some renovations on it. And then you get a little piece of mail in your mailbox. You want to open it up.
Yeah.
Maybe it could be a bill. Maybe it could be something. But this was titled "To the New Owners."
Alright, so just you're thinking a neighbor.
It's your neighbors,
Nice.
you know.
Neighbor,
You wanna have you welcome to it.
Right.
So it starts out here with dearest new neighbor at 657 Boulevard. Allow me to welcome you to the neighborhood. Not too bad so far.
Yeah, not too bad. It's a pretty nice letter.
Yeah, so he goes on to say 657 Boulevard has been the subject of my family for decades now, and it approaches its 110th birthday. Happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday. Yeah, so that seems like a harmless letter so far. Like, oh, these guys must have had that.
Yeah, it could be like, a lot of
ago.
neighborhoods have like committees and stuff.
Yeah.
So it could be like the
Yeah.
president of the committee. He's kind of telling you a little of the history of the
Yeah,
house.
that's what you're thinking.
Yeah. So he goes on to say, I have been put in charge of watching and waiting for its second coming. Not great.
That's a little weird.
Could be worded weird. Could be,
yeah, you could be
intention.
thinking, oh, second coming, like your new family,
Right,
we're excited for you. Yeah, but go on here.
So it goes on to say, my grandfather watched the house in the 1920s, and my father watched in the 1960s. It is now my time. Do you know the history of the house? Do you know what lies within the walls of 657 Boulevard? Why are you here? I will find out.
Now you're like,
This is coming off with malicious intent.
your heart rate just increased. You have chills. You're like,
Yeah, you're
what?
like, back up,
Yeah.
Mr. Watcher.
But you might think that it's just kind of a weird guy.
Yeah,
But what lies within the walls?
could be a prank
Like,
at this point.
Weird.
So it goes on here, and it goes, you have children. I have seen them. So far, I think there are 3 that I have counted.
Weird. So this guy, like, it's for sure he's watching them. Like, this isn't just a prank that someone just sent out.
Someone's watching
like
them.
he know that, like, right then and there you're dropping the letter, you're calling the police.
Right, yeah. And,
Talk about the kids.
So there's some more here. It goes on to say, do you need to fill the house with the young blood I requested? Better for me. Was your old house too small for the growing family? Or was it greed to bring me your children? Once I know their names, I will call to them and draw them to me.
Weird, man. That's just some weird stuff.
It says, was it greed to bring me your children? So he wants the children.
Right. That's
Young
ooh.
blood. Young blood is
got
not
chills
great.
just hearing that.
Never call a child young blood.
Yeah.
That's like what I feel like that's either you're in like a gang and they call you young blood, or like it's an old person.
Yeah.
But not great so far. But it goes on. There's some more here. It goes on to say, who am I? There are hundreds and hundreds of cars that drive by 657 Boulevard each day. Maybe I am in one.
That sounds like a busy ass street.
Yeah,
Each day,
kind of
cars.
wild.
Damn.
But maybe it's quiet. Maybe they all drive Teslas.
Yeah, maybe that'd be nice.
But it goes on. It says, look out all the windows you can see from 657 Boulevard. Maybe I'm in one.
Weird.
Look out any of the many windows in 657 Boulevard, at all the people who stroll by each day. Maybe I am one. Welcome, my friends. Welcome. Let the party begin.
Weird.
I mean, he wants to throw him a party, maybe.
That's nice.
Wants
That's
to
nice.
get to know the family.
Nice. You want the party to go, yeah.
But he signed it The Watcher.
I think that's interesting.
When you wanted a party, maybe The Watcher throws a crazy party.
Yeah, maybe he does. Which I do find it fascinating that he named himself. You're kind of going on with that, like he just kind of. No one really names themselves. The news media will, and all of that.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
to name yourself is a badass move.
Yeah, like the Zodiac.
You want to.
Usually, if you name yourself, you don't get caught.
Yeah, you want the media to give you a certain name.
I think Jack the Ripper named himself too. No, I think that.
I don't know about that one. But so who opened the letter? Who was in the house? So what it was Derek was actually alone in the house when he found this letter. He it was after 10 p.m. so it was dark. It was dark outside.
Yeah, scary hours.
And so Derek probably freaked the hell out. It said he went on to say that he raced around the house and get this, turned off all the lights so it looked empty.
Not what you want to do, Derek.
Why would you do that, Derek? Do you think he doesn't see the car in the driveway? Do you think that he doesn't...
He's the watcher, Derek.
The watcher, Derek. Do you
He's
understand
watching.
that, Derek? Jeez, Derek.
Let's not be too hard on Derek.
That's
right?
true. Yeah. And then he decided it would be the best to call the police.
Yeah, I think calling the police might have been halfway through the letter. He
Yeah.
decided to call the police.
Exactly. And
he wants to finish it, you know?
yeah,
He was
yeah.
interested.
He was, yeah. It's like a good book. It's
Yeah,
hard to put down.
Hard to put down, for sure.
So the officer arrived, read the letter, and this is funny. The officer said, in quotes here, "What the fuck is this?" Which, thanks for inducing panic. Like,
But if I was the officer, I'd say the same thing. What the
That's
fuck
true.
are you handing me right now?
What the hell?
Why'd you bring me into this?
Right. You should have called someone else, man.
Here, let me get someone else. I wasn't here, dog.
Yeah, but he asked Derek if he had any enemies, and and this is funny. He told him that. So I guess there was construction equipment on the porch, and he's like, "Hey, put that stuff inside. The watcher could throw it through the window." Which, come on, Mr. Officer.
He's the watcher, not the thrower
Yeah.
through windower.
He's not a rioter. You know, he's a nice watcher.
He watches.
This is his house, he thinks, you know. He's not
Yeah.
going to damage it.
Yeah.
And he actually was, like, kind of pissed at Derek and Maria for, doing some renovations with the house.
Come on. Maybe he's the watcher. Maybe the cops the watcher.
Which was interesting. But Derek rushed back to Maria and the kids who were living at their old home still. And that same night, they emailed John and Andrea Woods, the couple who sold them the house. Because you're pissed.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Oh, yeah.
I just closed on this house 3 days ago and I'm already getting
I just gave you
shit.
$1.3 million.
Yeah, like, I just made you rich. I mean, they probably were already rich, but...
I gave you a nice retirement gift.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're gonna not do anything with this? So, get this. Andrea Wood replied the next morning, and she said a few days before they moved out, they received a letter from the watcher. From the watcher.
Himself.
And they said that the note was odd, and that it did mention that the watcher's family had been observing the house over time, and like the letters were very similar, but she said that they read the letter and they decided to just throw it away without giving much thought into it. But they claim that they never received a letter like that in the 23 years that they lived in this house.
You don't throw a letter if you've never received anything like that. You're not throwing that letter out.
You're not throwing that away.
I mean, maybe they were leaving, and they said they threw it out, so we don't really know what's in the contents of that letter.
Right.
But it's referenced a lot that he's talked to the Woods.
To the Woods, yeah. So I do find it very strange that you'd throw away something like that. And they said that they read the whole thing, like, and if it was even like 10% the creepiness of that first letter,
Oh yeah.
like, come on.
You're not throwing that out.
Yeah, you're not doing that.
You're having some discussions with the police.
Exactly. Which they did. That same day, the Woods went with Maria to the police station where Detective Leonard Lugo, he told them not to tell anyone about the letter, not even the neighbors, because all the neighbors were suspects. Dun, dun, dun.
I don't honestly think that anyone, that they knew, anyone could be the suspect.
Yeah,
anyone
anyone's
who's
a
ever
suspect.
been down that street is a suspect.
Exactly.
But, so, this is their dream home.
Mm-hmm.
The Broaddus is their strong breed.
They're tough people.
They're mentally tough, they're physically tough. Derek, I bet Derek is quite the bodybuilder.
No, maybe.
He didn't look like it. But,
no, I did.
But, they're gonna go on, they decide, we're gonna just push through, we're gonna get our renovations done, maybe this was a one-time thing, maybe it was a prank pulled on us, because we're the new people.
They were on high alert, though, because I'm seeing here that Derek canceled his work trip, and Maria said that she would yell their kids' names whenever they went in, kind of the corners of the backyard and stuff, just being like, yeah, well, you need to be in my eyesight at all given times. You're in high alert.
Yeah, you're gonna be worried for your children's safety. I mean, he said it. He wants them. He wants the kids.
He wants the kids. Those are the main priority here.
Yeah, but I mean, they're gonna push on for now.
Mm-hmm.
So another couple weeks go by with renovations and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Another letter appears. Not great. Not when you see another letter, you're like, okay, we're done. I mean, this is even if you're mentally tough, you're gone.
Yeah, they
just
went to the police instantly after this letter.
So it goes like this here. Welcome again to your new home at 657 Boulevard.
What a nice guy.
He's welcoming.
Very welcoming. All he's doing is watching, you know?
He's just watching. Maybe he's bored.
Yeah.
Have you ever looked out the window and just saw someone and you're just like, oh, hey, there's a person?
Yeah.
I mean, everyone's seen someone.
I should have named myself the Watcher. He has the copyright.
He has the copyright on the Watcher. All hail the Watcher.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes on. He says, the workers have been busy, and I've been watching you unload carts full of your personal belongings. Do you think that the Watcher has a sexual thing for the workers? The sweaty men working on the house?
No, I think the Watcher is asexual, actually.
I think he has a sexual relationship with the house.
Yeah? Ooh. That's a good take right there, actually.
I think that might be the key here.
Yeah, I think that's a good take.
But he goes on. This is a great line from the Watcher here. The dumpster is a nice touch.
See, he's nice. The Watcher is nice.
He's complimenting that where they put their dumpster.
Yeah, exactly. It's a nice touch.
Let's keep going on here. He also said, have you found out what's inside the walls yet?
In time they will?
In time they will.
What? Are you busting one of your walls open at this point?
At this point, I'm curious. I'm telling the police. I'm surprised the police didn't search the walls.
I am curious on that.
You think that, like, if there's something in the walls.
Yeah.
This person who's, like, was stalking them.
Maybe
said that there's something
maybe
in the walls.
he is in the walls.
That actually, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. He could be inside the walls, and then when they're gone...
And there's, like, a little thing, because he obviously knows the history of the
inside of the house. Yeah, he knows, yeah.
I'm genuinely, like, dumbfounded. I think that actually could be very well what happened.
Yeah, that's... I didn't even think about that until, like, I just said it, you know?
Like, it's like the movie The Boy.
The Boy, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Man,
exactly.
That's crazy. I didn't even think about this. But you think they would hear clattering around? No, I'm throwing that out. That's dumb. That's stupid.
Yeah.
You would think they would hear something. Unless the Watcher's really quiet.
He could be quiet. He pees quietly.
He pees very softly. So he goes on. He wants to know what's in the wall. He wants them to know what's in the walls.
Mm-hmm.
Then he goes on and says, I'm pleased to know your names now, and the names of the young blood you have brought to me. You certainly say their names often. 657 Boulevard is anxious for you to move in.
So that goes back to what I said earlier, how Maria said that she would yell her kids' names whenever they got out of sight a lot. Yeah. So this dude is at a close proximity at all given times.
Yeah, and we've seen pictures of, like, the overview, and, like, the houses... This actually kind of goes into the it's in the walls theory. Yeah. Because the houses, like, the backyards are big, but, like, it's not super big.
Yeah, you're not.
Like, there's no, like, shrubbery or, like, a tree line or something that you could hide in there. Like, you'd have to have, like, the house bugged or something or something. But, maybe. I mean, if she's screaming, you could probably hear that if you're the neighbor.
Yeah, maybe.
Or something. But, so, you know, he's anxious for them to move in. Or the house is anxious for them to move in. So maybe he is the house.
Maybe he is the house. Monster House.
Monster House.
That's a good movie.
Yeah, the guy had a sexual relationship with the house.
Boom. Well, it was his dead wife that...
There was his dead wife.
For him of the house. But yeah.
But, so he goes on. It has been years and years since the young blood ruled the halls of the house. Have you found all the secrets it holds? Will the young blood play in the basement, or are they too afraid to go down there alone?
Oh, man.
This is unsettling stuff.
That's just getting...
I would be very afraid if I were them. It is far away from the rest of the house. If you were upstairs, you would never hear them scream.
Oh, man.
That's not great.
Man.
This is too much. You're out of there.
I am putting the house for
Roger, what happened, man? We were on your side, and then you went too far, man.
Yeah, dude. You were like, we're just watching.
If you were just watching the Watcher, I mean, yeah, maybe he's just bringing up safety concerns for them. Probably not, though. But so that's not great. But then he goes on to ask them some more great questions. You know. He asks, will they sleep in the attic, or will you all sleep on the second floor? First of all, who sleeps in the attic? Come on, Watcher.
And is he asking these questions for a response?
Yeah.
You know,
I don't think he's expecting them to write back. Maybe that's all he wanted. Maybe he just wanted a pen pal.
He didn't put a return stuff on it, though.
Come
so
on, Watcher.
Maybe he forgot. You know,
Come on. Maybe it's like invisible ink. Maybe he pissed on it and then like...
Oh, maybe.
Maybe. Invisible ink here. But, so he goes on. Who has the bedrooms facing the street? I'll know as soon as you move in. It'll help me know who sleeps in what bedroom. It will help me plan better all of the windows and doors in 657 Boulevard allow me to watch you and track you as you move through the house. So Derek, when you turned off all the lights, it didn't help, man.
It did not help, Derek.
You really screwed the pooch on that one, Derek. But he's alive, so it's something.
His heart was in the right place, but
it wasn't.
Maybe not.
So he goes on. So it's already not great. This second letter is really not great for the Watcher here. So he goes on and he says, who am I? I am the Watcher, and I have been in control of 657 Boulevard for the better part of 2 decades now. The Woods family turned it over to you. It was their time to move on, and they kindly sold it when I asked them to. I pass by many times a day. 657 Boulevard is my job, my life, my obsession, and now you are too.
So
at this point, I'm putting up a bunch of cameras, and whichever person keeps walking by,
basement, I'm sealing off. You know, like this is just.
I'm getting bodyguards.
Weird. It's just very weird.
I mean, they're wealthy, so it goes on here. Let me finish this up here. He goes on and says, welcome to the product of your greed. Greed is what brought the past 3 families to 657 Boulevard, and now it has brought you to me. Have a happy moving in day. You know I'll be watching.
What's interesting about that letter, too, is that he knows so much about him, and he spelled their last name incorrectly, which I view as very interesting because if he was Googling all this information, like from the house and everything, then he would have spelled it right. He would have known how to spell it.
He would have had the deal.
Everything online. So I think that's interesting that maybe he overheard them.
Well, you know how moms, when they get angry at their kids, they say their full name?
Yeah.
So maybe that's how he heard it?
Maybe.
So, it's very, I mean, come on, Watcher. Can you
come on, dude.
Spellings?
Yeah, please.
But, so I was saying I would hire bodyguards because if I was this wealthy, I mean, they hired a private investigator team to investigate this with the police. And I'd be spending maybe more money on some bodyguards, you know, some people to fucking protect me instead
of fucking new kitchen cabinet.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. But so they get this letter. They talk to the police. The police can't really do anything because like they can't.
Yeah.
There's not really any leads or anything.
Yeah. There's nothing really to.
I mean, they're questioning the family. They're questioning the. I'm sure they had a police officer stay. Like, you know how you can have they'll like in victims of like people being stalked and stuff. They'll have like police officers stay nearby. They'll always have a police officer stationed near.
Yeah, and this isn't a big city too, so I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure they could have someone, you know, with So sometime, and I mean the private investigators, I'm sure, were always watching as well.
Right.
Do you think the Watcher was watching the Watchers? Watchception. But so some time, you know, passed. They finished the renovations, but they decided we're not going to do it. We're not moving in. We're not doing it.
Yeah, you know, I wouldn't either. Like I don't blame them for that. And they even asked the priest to come and bless the house. Like, this really affected their psyche.
Yeah.
And, like, how they...
Because, I mean, there's some paranormal aspects to the Watcher, but it's more of a stalker.
Right.
Because, I mean, the way that he says young blood and, like, he wants the children and the basement. Yeah. All that's kind of, like, paranormal.
I think when you're desperate like that, you just kind of
do whatever you
go for anything
to stop it.
So several weeks later, a third letter appeared.
After they did move. So 6 months later, they put the house back on the market.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I missed that part.
Right.
Yeah. 6 months later, they put it back on the market, and so then the third letter appeared, and let's just say the watcher was getting a little concerned why they weren't moving in.
He had no one to watch.
He had no one to watch. So he went on to say, "Where have you gone to? 657 Boulevard is missing you. The house is crying from all the pain it is going through. You have changed it and made it so fancy. You are stealing its history. It cries for the past and what used to be in time when I roamed its halls. The 1960s were a good time for 657 Boulevard when I ran from room to room imagining the life with the rich occupants there. The house was full of life and young blood. Then it got old and so did my father, but he kept watching until the day he died. And now I watch and wait for the day when the young bloods will be mine again. 657 Boulevard is turning on me. It is coming after me. I don't understand why. What spells did you cast on it?" Which is interesting because the priest came in, so I wonder.
Spells.
I wonder if he was saying. Things. I wonder, if he was like kind of saying that in regards to the priest, and you can tell like this is like legitly hurting the watcher.
Yeah.
Like this is affecting him, and how he. If you notice, he always says greed, rich occupants, all this.
Right.
My father, and how he was saying how he was running from room to room, imagining the life of the rich occupants there, makes me think that maybe when like no one was in there, yeah, he's a poor guy. No one, when people were in there, like he just, I don't know.
But also, this could be just a really good storyteller.
Yeah, he could be just, yeah. And so he went on and said, "It used to be my friend, and now it is my enemy. I am in charge of 657 Boulevard. It is not in charge of me. I will fend off its bad things and wait for it to become good again. It will not punish me. I will rise again. I will be patient and wait for this to pass and for you to bring the young bloods back to me. 657 Boulevard needs young bloods. It needs you. Come back. Let the young blood play again like I once did. Let the young blood sleep in 657 Boulevard. Stop changing it and let it alone."
So that third letter definitely leans very hard into like a paranormal sense.
Mm-hmm.
Which is interesting.
Yeah, he thinks that this house is alive and needs occupants.
Yeah.
And needs young occupants.
Right, and then he, in a sense, can't like be happy or like can't.
Exactly.
He's not watching.
Yeah.
How can you be the watcher and not watch?
Which is just, I mean, there's some mental disorder going on.
Something's going on in that
and
head.
actually, I missed this part. I accidentally skipped this part. But Derek was saying how he gave a tour to a couple that lived on the block. Just trying to be neighborly and everything. So
make some friends. Yeah.
And what's fascinating with me is that they never go into detail with this couple.
Yeah, they're kind of done.
And Derek said that he froze when the wife said, "It'll be nice to have some young bloods in the neighborhood."
That's like some horror movie stuff where like the killer,
Yeah, saying just like that key word, young bloods. Because who says? I mean, maybe you guys let us know in the comments or DM us or whatever. Let us know if you use the word young bloods.
It's kind of like
really
in the movie
that.
The Zodiac, when they get to the guy who they think is the Zodiac, how he's wearing the Zodiac watch, and he says a few words that the Zodiac said, like he talks in that way and everything. So like that's definitely like, how did you not investigate this?
Yeah, and if you're the watcher, you're gonna want to be inside that house. So if you're gonna act as if this couple, because the watcher might be more than one person,
Oh, it could be the whole neighborhood.
But I will say this: when he or she is writing these letters, it says I. It doesn't say us or we. It talks about mainly just the father and him or her.
Yeah.
Which, if it was a couple, you think they would throw in.
Right, but maybe like the couple, it's not like a shared thing. Maybe it's just
that's true.
Which, keep in mind, it was the wife that said that.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind.
Keep that in mind.
So, on June 2015, 1 year after the purchase, the family, they decided, hey, we're going to file a lawsuit against John and Andrea Woods. They claimed they had malicious and intentionally withheld information about the watcher But since the Woods only received one letter, or they claimed they've only received one letter,
Right.
The case was ultimately thrown out.
Which, come on.
Even if you get one letter, that's enough to have to
one
warn
letter,
these people.
and then they also received the letter saying that the Woods brought them the new family.
Right, like that's
as
something
if
you have to
they were
bring
in
them in
communication.
court. Like,
yeah, exactly. Like, were they in communication with each other, or is he just kind of trying to throw them under the bus? I don't know.
So the Broaddus family's still down. They're not no signs of hope at this point.
Yeah.
But there is one good thing that for them kind of in this, that it brought a lot of attention to the case.
Yeah, it made it public.
So like there's a lot more people investigating, doing more research, maybe more leads will pop up here.
Right.
So the family, they ended up the house is on the market. They ended up renting it out to some people.
I wonder, did they tell the people?
They would have
there's
to.
A
I feel like you'd have to at this point because I'm sure like they were court ordered to. Or,
right.
I mean, everyone knows about it as well at this point.
And what's interesting about this too is that third letter that the Watcher sent was the last letter he sent out. And you think that if people were renting this out, that he would get pissed. You know? He would get pissed and write letters. Why are you letting anyone inside?
Well, that third letter sounded like he was in a lot of pain. Maybe that the Watcher, he couldn't handle it anymore. And
maybe killed himself?
Maybe moved. Maybe he couldn't be in that area anymore.
Wow, that's actually
something.
That's a good take, because we're going to go into the suspects here in a little bit, but they never searched for people who died.
Yeah.
In that neighborhood,
in that time period.
I like that take. Yeah.
Maybe that's what they needed to do.
Yeah.
But they ended up bringing the house out. So are you ready to get in the suspects here?
I'm ready for these suspects.
So suspect number one, the Langford family. They were next door neighbors.
Okay.
So they would be able to hear all the everything. So they live next door to 657 Boulevard. They were once considered the prime suspect of the case here.
Interesting.
And one resident, mostly Michael Langford, was the one who was considered as the prime suspect. A lot of people in the neighborhood thought he was kind of odd and like kind of weird.
Yeah.
But everyone saw him as like a harmless guy. He was just kind of a little weirdo.
Which Watcher didn't do anything to cause harm. Well, I mean,
mentally, he was threatened
mentally
to take their children or kill their children.
But he never acted on it. So maybe that's
it's still kind of a terrible thing. But so the Langfords, they lived in their home since the 1960s, which kind of adds into it. But it wouldn't make sense that the grandfather, because he said his grandfather watched in the 1920s.
That's true.
So is the Watcher a liar, or is it
maybe
Langford not the Watcher?
Maybe the family lied to Michael Langford, though.
Maybe. So the father of the family, he passed away a decade earlier, which the Watchers claimed that his father watched it until the day he died.
Okay.
And
so too similar.
And then he said he's been watching it for the better part of 2 decades. So that's something there. And so the father died. He left behind his elderly wife and several adult children who lived with her. Which, I mean, if my family lived in a $1.3 million mansion, I would, stay around for quite a while.
Yeah, exactly.
So the police, they considered him a suspect, but eventually they ruled it out. So this is where it gets interesting. A DNA test was done on one of the letters, and it turns out that the profile of the DNA belonged to a woman, not a man.
That is game-changing, I think. That changes the whole investigation.
Now, remember the couple that came to the house and made Derek freeze, the woman was the one who said, it's going to be nice to have some young bloods in there.
Exactly. And that's why I find it so fascinating that they don't dive into that.
Yeah, that's something you should
multiple articles. I read multiple articles, watched multiple videos, and they mention the girl saying that, but they never dive into who she really was.
Never say anything about it after that. Well, I'm assuming... I'm gonna give the police the benefit of the doubt here, which yikes. But so I mean they questioned the neighbors, all the neighbors and everything. Yeah. So maybe and it could be an older couple, and usually it's like older people who say young blood.
Yeah, exactly.
But so that's just something that's crazy. But so they ruled Michael out in this because it belonged to a woman. But then everyone's like, oh, it's not Michael. Let's put it right on his sister, Abby. And she also, she was like, hey, back up. I'll give a DNA test right now. It's not me. And it wasn't a match. So, and this is modern day DNA testing and everything.
Right. So it's pretty good.
It's better than it could. I mean, it could be better, but it's still pretty good.
And then the police, they investigate. So there was a young man in a car that stopped in front of the house late at night, and then he turned around, and then it turned out that it was someone that lived in the neighborhood, but it was an isolated incident, so they ruled it out.
Right.
I mean, it was probably just their... they probably have security cameras up, and they just saw a car stop, and it was probably just a guy who lived in the neighborhood turned around. Or this was getting big media attention.
Be like, oh, look where I am.
Yeah, and they said it was a young man too, so it was probably a teenager, and he's like, oh, let me see, but I don't know. Teenagers don't really have that good vocabulary that these
I don't think
letters have.
I think that's just a throw out.
Yeah, and then they checked the ex-residents, just like the Woods and everyone, and housekeepers in the house, because they were so close-quartered. And
like the workers and everything.
Yeah, all those people. But questioned them all, ruled them all out. They were just not likely.
So, another big suspect, this is one that a lot of the neighbors and everyone thinks it could be, is the family themselves, or the ones who created the
Broaddus Family, yeah.
Which, so it's, some people say that they experienced buyer's remorse, they got a little bit over their heads with it, they purchased a little too much,
Bit off more than they could chew.
Because, so the house that they lived in previously, it was only a fraction of the cost of the new house.
But he got that big
promotion. They're having a bigger family. It's time to
exactly.
move into a nicer house. Maybe they were saving up for a long time to get their dream house. So I think that's a little, I think that's because a lot of this comes from like the neighbors, and there's a lot of snobby rich people.
Yeah, you got the gossip going on.
You were poor at one point. So
so
you could never reach our wealth.
Right.
But so they claimed that they were desperate. They were going to try anything to get out of this, which there's way better ways of thinking about doing that.
Yeah,
doing this.
I don't believe it because they spent so much. They go on record for saying like upwards of $200,000 in renovations.
Yeah, like you're not doing that.
You're not doing that if you barely.
And Derek was
broke the
wealthy
bank
at this point.
Yeah,
like Derek had a nice job set up and everything.
Yeah, he was good.
But so this is, a lot of this is thrown out because like of how distraught the couple was, like the family.
Yeah.
The workers who worked on the renovations, they claimed that the couple was always just like torn up from this. This was eating them from the inside.
Yeah, you probably have big bags under your eyes.
Yeah. There was a painter. He was working at the time and was quoted saying, "I'm a stranger, and Maria was crying and shaking in my arms."
Yeah, you would have to break down.
Yeah, you're breaking down,
terrified. And what's fascinating with that is Maria later on is reportedly to be diagnosed from PTSD for all these incidents.
Yeah, from her therapist who said maybe it's time to get out of there.
Yeah, the therapist said you need to just be done with this house. And it's one thing to say, oh, the Broaddus family, they faked this whole thing to get a movie deal, get out of their contract, everything, but
no way. There's no way
you can't fake.
There's
PTSD.
no way that this would be something because like you're like threatening your children and like you're bringing up all this stuff. I don't
believe it. I'm not.
So there's one thing on this though. So do you want to go into the whole Derek situation here?
Old Derek boy. So several residents, we were talking earlier, that they were judgmental of the family.
Yeah, rich snobs, really.
And all the people that were talking out, like, they probably were posting on Facebook, or maybe, I don't know, but they were talking out against them. And they all received anonymous letters, handwritten, that's big here, handwritten, and delivered to all their mailboxes. And in the letter, it was signed, Friends of the Broaddus Family, and just kind of had eerie similarities with the Watcher letters, which I wonder what those. They don't really dive into what similarities they are. Maybe it was handwritten letter. That's the similarity.
And I mean, even if Derek, he could have taken inspiration to get he was full of revenge. And,
yeah, you get pissed. Yeah, it's like, oh, you don't believe me when I'm suffering right now. Like
my family's going through such a hard time right now, and you're just saying that we're the terrible people. And
right. And a year later, they had an interview with The Cut, and Derek admitted to writing those letters, but he said those are the only ones I wrote. And I didn't even tell my wife about it. He was just saying I was kind of acting out because I was.
And he said he was very regretful that he did that. He was just acting out on vengeance and all this.
Right.
And so that's something. I don't think that's. I mean, I understand that. I think it's more vengeance than Derek was the Watcher.
Yeah, I don't think.
Thing up.
Yeah.
But so that's just an interesting little piece that he also wrote letters. Derek the Watcher confirmed.
That is.
But Derek, not a woman, so
yeah. So there you go. Yeah, it's a woman.
So the family, they decided we're gonna try and sell it still, because they still own it. Or they don't own it anymore. They actually sold it, and they sold it for a big loss in 2019.
Yeah, $440,000 loss. That's big time money. You put so much heart and soul into this,
Right.
they were helping these renovators. It wasn't just we hired the contractors, go on. They were in there in the loss. They were painting. They were doing all this,
Right, for sure. And the whole situation, that's just going to be with them forever and all that. But they might have hit the green.
Ooh.
So in 2018, Netflix bought the rights to adapt the story into a Netflix original horror film.
I would like to watch that.
I think it could be good. It could be a documentary. We don't really know any details on the Netflix.
Hey, Netflix. I would play a great Watcher. Hook me up. Call me.
I'll play a worker.
You'll be the painter.
I'll be the painter.
Yeah.
Take the painter's job.
Simple. It's a simple job.
Simple. You just stand there. You don't even have to say anything.
Yeah,
you just stand there.
Yeah, while someone cries in your arm.
I'll put a little paint on my nose.
Yeah, make it look good.
So
email us theworldwithince@gmail.com. Well, we look forward to your email, Netflix.
The Watcher, if you email us, just be nice, man. Come on.
Yeah, dude.
We don't have children. You can't come murder our children.
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry, Watcher. Sucks to be you.
So, Ethan, we talked about all this. What do you think happened? Who do you think the Watcher is?
I honestly think, it's not talked about enough, so I don't really have anything to go on, but I think that the couple, that's really interesting that they said young blood.
Yeah.
That's something that
nice to have young blood in the neighborhood.
A disturbed person would do.
Yeah.
And especially if they have multiple personality syndrome, and it just came out, because that shit comes out whenever. You don't have control of that. So maybe something like that happened. I think my wild theory that I would like is that it's paranormal.
Yeah.
It's a witch, a warlock or something weird.
That'd be interesting.
Or a witch, because it's a woman.
Yeah.
That just is draws its power. Maybe there was something a long time ago.
110 years. Yeah.
Something a long time ago that there was something there that brought this here.
Yeah.
The basement is big.
That is big. Yeah. The talking.
We should go there and ask if we can go in.
Yeah, I'm curious.
We should ask if we go watch.
Kind of a long flight.
That's alright.
But yeah, I think that it was a neighbor, and I think that I don't really know what to think. With this one, I'm gonna just go out and say I don't know. I do not know what.
But
to
if
think
you had
here.
to pick,
if I had to pick, I would probably say it was someone a neighbor.
A neighbor.
I would like the Langfords.
I don't think it was the Langfords. I think the Langfords just got thrown under the bus because they were next door.
and they had some similarities.
I think it was the couple that came over and said,
I think it was the couple.
but they don't go into it. So
we don't really know.
Did that happen? You know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe it was Maria.
Maybe it was Maria. Maybe it was Derek and he.
Maybe it was the 3-year-old daughter.
Maybe Derek had multiple personality disorder
and his
so
DNA
that
was changed to a woman.
Boom. Nice.
I don't think that's what happens in multiple personalities. But so thank you for giving this a listen.
Yeah,
a
watch. Yeah.
A watcher. You guys are the watchers.
You guys are the watchers right now. So yes, thank you guys. Give us feedback. We've been shouting out podcasts. We've been doing everything on Instagram and Twitter and everything. So thank you guys all for the love.
Yeah, thank you.
So yeah, thank you guys.
Catch us Thursday.
Catch us Thursday, baby. That's it. Boom.
Thank you for listening to The World Within.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all you do.
Join our Patreon, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and catch us next week. Thank you.